It's Katie Lee, and this is the IMZ 103 podcast. So to get started, Addy Faith is in with us today. Addy, how did we get started with music? How did it all begin for you?
Basically, I started music since I was a little kid. I've been practicing writing songs. One of the things I used to do as a kid is I used to do spin-off songs, which was basically parodies. So I would take like my favorite mainstream songs, turn them into my own lyrics just to express how I felt, practice songwriting. Then I did my senior project in 2019 for, I was graduating in 2020, so I named my album 2020. It sucks. Don't listen to it. But it was made on Adobe Audition, and to me, that was like, oh yeah, dude, I'm going to make the big leagues. Like, this is it. This is tight. To which then I did Polaroid, my second album, which was also kind of just like an experimental one. I made it during COVID, and the message of it was supposed to be, live in the moment, don't take advantage of things that could be lost so quickly. And that's something that we all had to learn in 2020.
Yeah.
To which that started a whole musical journey of me accidentally making a 4-album long storyline. So it started with my album Bittersweet that I released in 2021. For some reason, I still don't know to this day how it happened, but I got like 76,000 streams on that album.
Wow.
It was like 14,000 in the first day. And I was like, how?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was all over the world. It wasn't just in America. I had people listening in like the UK, Europe, stuff like that. It was super awesome to see. Eventually the numbers dwindled down, but I'm still thankful for the people that do still listen to me because I haven't gone under at least like 40 monthly listeners in the last like 2 years. So it's not a whole lot, but I'm still grateful that 40 people take their time every month to listen to me. Then I went Blank Canvas, which was a storyline about an artist being critiqued for their own work and losing the confidence in making their art and eventually just being like, hey, everybody else does their own art. I'm going to do it my own way. To which my third in that storyline was a dramatization presented by, which I made for my little sister in her memory. She passed away in December 2022.
I'm sorry.
So it was basically just made in her memory and like visually and artistically showing what grief looked like in the characters of me and then what I called bitter and sweet, which were the two different sides of me. I said bitter was more me, where sweet was more my sister, and I had to learn how to be both and to live for her and not, just like trying to remember her as I go by.
Yeah.
And then my last one, Rev, which is a continuation of the whole thing, was me dying directly after a dramatization. And the 5 people that killed me, I basically, have to kill them in the same style in order to free my soul. And eventually the ending of the album was tying everything all together and meeting my sister again in the afterlife. So it was like this whole elaborate storyline, and that's where I perfected concept albums, what I wanted my sound to be like. That's when I met Jovi during the Blank Canvas era. The Heart has been absolutely nothing but a stepstone for me, and they've been helping me with my entire journey. I'm eternally grateful for everything that Jovi, Brant, Mosey, all of them do for me. And yeah, currently I'm working on my next one, which is a new era. We're calling it the movie magic era because I used to write movies when I was a kid as well.
That's cool.
So this next one is going to be called Sweet Dreams. And it's basically going to be about how fear controls populations and using basically real life metaphors to which like everything happening in the government, everything happening with like civil rights, human rights, all that stuff, putting it all into there and saying like fear is the only thing that can control you. No one else can determine what you do with your life or how you use it.
Dang, girl, that is a lot.
Yeah.
But that is so cool. I was watching some videos that they had of you from The Heart, and your performances are phenomenal.
I try to, yeah.
You definitely have performing under the belt. Like, it is definitely in your blood. It is amazing.
I would like to say that I was born to be a performer.
I can see
I've been researching basically like a bunch of ways to perform. So my top favorite artist is Lil Nas X. I went to his concert in 2022, and from that one, I like specifically studied his crowd interaction, his stage presence, how he performs and like dances at the same time, when he stops to talk to the crowd, and how he addresses the crowd. And then not only that, but also his music has been a huge inspiration for me, especially with him being a Black queer artist, such as myself. It's definitely very, very empowering to see him up on that stage, and I wanted to be not exactly like him. I still wanted to be Addy Faith. But studying him and also like Billie Eilish, different R&B artists, Kendrick Lamar is also one of my favorite rappers, and watching him perform, all that stuff is basically all stuff that I have incorporated in my own performances.
I love that. You've got it figured out. Like,
I try. I wing it most of the time.
Don't we all? So if you could perform anywhere in the world, like any venue, any festival, where would you go?
Ooh, my top 3 places that I want to be. I know it's not technically like a venue, but I do want to perform at the VMAs one day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they have such iconic performances, and it's been my dream to win a VMA. I also want one day to perform at Madison Square Garden because that's like a staple for all artists to want to be at.
Definitely.
And then third one, I do want to be able to, not a headline, but I do want to be at like Coachella or something like that.
That'd
too.
be sweet.
It'd be so awesome. Like I have dreamed about all this stuff for so long that I like started designing like outfits and all this stuff for it. And that's what I put into all the characters that I designed for my albums too.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that you have such high dreams, and I so hope that they all happen for you. I expect to see you at the VMAs one day.
Well, it's also funny because every single time I drive by here, I go, oh man, I can't wait to be on the radio one day, but that's never going to happen.
Check.
Update. I'm on Z103.
Look at that. All right. So if people are looking for your music or social media, where are they going to find you?
You can find me on every single platform that you listen to music on: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. I'm even on iHeart, Deezer, Tidal, all that stuff. It's under Addy Faith. It's ADDY and then Faith. And then my Instagram is Addy_Faith17. I do have a Facebook page as well. That's it for now for my musical socials, but I do want to expand later on. But I also don't want to run all of those when I have 400 people that I follow and they're all from like high school.
That's okay. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. No, especially if I ever get big or big enough to have like a decent following, I do want to have like my own musical Twitter.
Absolutely.
It's also been one of my dreams to like be on Pinterest and be like, oh, cool little alt outfits. And then like randomly Addy Faith pops up and I'm like, oh, that's
my favorite one.
That's me.
That's awesome. I love that one so much. Okay. So do you have any more shows coming up that we can look forward to by chance?
Not as of yet. Jovi has been working his tail off to try and get me more shows, especially at the Gem. I have also been looking into out-of-state shows. Me and my best friend want to move to Seattle next year. And so that's actually a really good place for most alternative artists to get like a good following is in Seattle. So hopefully things work out and I can take my music in different states and perform everywhere and get my name out there.
Well, I wish you the absolute best of luck with all music. And like I said, I hope to see you at the VMAs, at Coachella, all of the above.
Me too.
And thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the IMZ 103 podcast. If you enjoyed the interview, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. IMZ 103 is hosted by Katie Lee and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com.